You're listening to the Telltale channel. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, don't forget to check out my Patreon. You can find some ad-free, uncensored, complete versions of my videos on my website, owenmorgan.com. All links are in the description. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. Got an interesting one. Let me just jump into it, explain what we're going to be doing. As you can see, I have the God's Not Dead like logo in the background here, or whatever you call it. We are going to watch this movie. Now, if you're unfamiliar, this movie came out all the way back in 2014, I think. And it was blatant Christian propaganda. I mean, Christian extremist propaganda. It's crazy. Give you a basic synopsis. Kevin Sorbo is in this, you know, Hercules. Back in the day, he played Hercules in the 90s. He plays an evil atheist professor, a college professor, who comes in and forces everybody in his classroom to sign a contract that says that they don't believe in God. And some Christian, as if this would ever happen, it's ridiculous. Some Christian says, I'm not going to do it. And then they try to give him an F or something like that. It's just crazy, dude. It's crazy. I'm going to watch this. And I actually intend to watch I also intend to watch episode 2 or part 2 or something. It's got like God's Not Dead 2, God's Not Dead 3, I think is out there now. So I want to watch all of them in succession, but we're going to start with this one. Now, just for my YouTube channel watchers right now, we're not going to make it all the way through. I've purchased this legally, by the by. I just want to put this on record. I'm watching this on YouTube, if you're curious. Just want to make sure everybody is clear. This is 100% legal, what I'm doing. Unpirated or whatever else. But if you don't get to finish this on YouTube, like tonight, then follow me over to my Telltale Unfiltered YouTube channel tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m., and I'll be watching the rest of it live there. If you miss that, then you can watch the entire thing edited down and cleaned up on my website, owenmorgan.com, or just go to Telltale Unfiltered. I'll release all of the episodes of me doing this on my Unfiltered channel. And while we watch this, we are going to play some Pokemon Ultraviolet is what it's called. It's a ROM hack. It's basically Pokemon Fire Red, except I have all of the Pokemon. Like, they're all catchable. It's not just, you know, it's not just the Fire Red Pokemon. It's like every one of them. So, anyways. Including legendaries and Pokemon from Gen 2 and 3, I believe, are also in this. But I'm just going for Gen 1 Pokemon. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Without further ado, why don't we play some Pokemon and watch God's Not Dead 1, shall we? I'm excited, actually. Once I hit this button, I only have so long to watch it, so. Here we go. I have 48 hours to watch this video. What? It's not. Yes, start it. Jesus. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to skip forward to the beginning. I have to add sufficient commentary. I can't just, like, that's part of the deal with, you know, criticism and all that. I have to comment on it as we go through. Not that I didn't intend to or something, but I hope it doesn't, like, cut me off right in the middle of the movie, because Scientology, I played a video from them one time. They shut the stream down. I was live and they turned it off. It's crazy. So hopefully that doesn't happen here. If it does, we'll watch something different. I have a backup we can watch if we can't watch this for some reason. You had it all. You can't see no. Okay, God's Not Dead. Here we go. So basically, I'm trying to interrupt the music sufficiently. Basically, it's a couple of people at a college having a good time, pushing each other and laughing. What's concerning about this is the fact that there's a girl and a boy alone here. No chaperone to be seen. That's concerning, huh? Okay, wait, what's this? When the timing is right. Why did they put this in there? Why did they put, like, a Muslim and his wife? I think this is a niqab, is that right? It's not just a hijab. A hijab is a small veil that covers your head. This appears to be a niqab that covers the whole face. And then there's a burqa that, you know, has like the little thing you can't even see through. Why insert this? This is weird. Somehow you know when nobody stands. So I guess the point there was that the Muslims don't appear to be happy about their situation, but the Christians seem to be plenty happy, huh? Stand on your own. Yeah, I'm trying to skip through the music. Like, this is irrelevant stuff here.
Sheet.
Okay, here we go. We'll start here.
Name? Wheaton. Josh Wheaton. You got your pre-registration sheet? Yeah.
And by the way, if I get pulled down, you guys are going to have to let me know. At me in the chat. At Owen Morgan. A whole bunch. If this stream is pulled down. Because I'm not even going to be paying attention.
All core requirements are here. What is your humanities elective?
So he's registering for college. I don't remember college registration being like this.
Philosophy 150, Radisson 11, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay, they're looking. Okay, he's wearing a cross necklace, and this dude is gonna like zero in on it and trash him for it, right?
50, Radisson 11, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
You might want to think about a different instructor.
Gus?
Let's just say you're wandering into the snake pit. I recommend Patel, or maybe Mueller.
Like, literally nobody cares if you're Christian at a university. Come on.
Come on, man, it can't be that bad.
Think Roman Coliseum, lions, people cheering for your death.
Yeah, but I'd have to rearrange my whole schedule. I don't think I can really...
It's your funeral.
Look, if there was a professor that was seriously harassing Christians at a university, they'd be fired for that. You know, it's not acceptable to harass people for any reason at a university, Christian or not. I'm just saying, this is a completely unrealistic situation.
Last drop date is the 22nd. You might want to keep that in mind. You're done. Thanks.
Yeah.
Have a good semester.
Okay, I definitely registered for college at one point, and I don't remember it working like this, but okay.
Hi.
Manye.
What does PRC stand for?
People's Republic of China.
Oh. Seriously?
Oh, yes. Always serious.
Why is that? I don't understand. Why is this being singled out, too? This is really weird.
Okay.
Seriously, they're acting like, you know, the people on campus are all super Christian-centric, and it's super weird to find someone that's not a white Christian male or something like that. Like, what? Oh, my God. What did the bumper sticker say? Meat is murder, I heart evolution, and American humanist. Okay. Awesome, dude. Okay. I love it, dude. These are bumper stickers I'd probably have. Although meat is murder. I'm not a vegan. I think less meat would be extremely beneficial to us, to society. But, yeah, I don't really do that. This is such a ridiculous movie. So this is the arch villain of the episode, I guess. Window has been busted in. Yeah, that's the kind of thing atheists expect to deal with from time to time.
You gotta be kidding me!
White and Wolf, how can I help you? Yes, please hold. White and Wolf? I will let them know you called. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Buy as much Tochigi Heavy Industries as you can on margin. We've gotten wind of a merger, and the Japanese could care
Okay, so I guess they're supposed to be like Wall Street high rollers or something, right? CEOs, big important people or whatever.
less about insider trading. Oh, you're
The Japanese could care less about insider trading, he says. Okay.
gonna thank me for this one. I guarantee it.
Dude, is that Dean Cain? Is that who that is? Wasn't he on Ripley's Believe It or Not? That TV show from like the 90s? I think that's Dean Cain. Oh my God.
You're on with Mark.
Hey, I need you to give me directions.
You're kidding, right?
Nope, somebody stole my GPS and my phone has decided that it is spinning propeller time.
Can't do it. The Nikkei just opened and there's a massive sell-off going on. Oh, and by the way, I made reservations for us Friday at Le Rive Gauche.
Wait, you'll take me to Le Rive Gauche, but you won't take the time to give me directions?
What's in it for me?
You're kidding, right? You're serious. Okay.
Okay, so I assume that these are two villains of the story, right? This is kind of how these tropes work. I remember reading a book back in the day. It's called Ender's Game, right? It's a great book, honestly. It was written by a Mormon guy named Orson Scott Card. And the main character, Ender, the whole series was fantastic, honestly. Even its side series, Ender's Shadow, just fantastic series. Anyways, the main characters were atheist, famously. They started out atheist. But by the end of the book series, in both cases, Ender's Shadow and Ender's Game, both book series, the protagonists turned out to be Christian by the end of it. They believed it by the end. This is kind of a common trope in particularly Christian media, but any media at all, honestly. If you have an atheist protagonist, then it's used as a recovery story. It's like they start out that way, but by the end of it, it's a redeeming thing. Like they redeem themselves and become Christian. So the scumbags in this in this movie are atheists, or vice versa. The atheists, the one with "Meat is Murder" on the back of her car, or "I Love Evolution," that woman is an atheist, and her boyfriend and the people that she affiliates with are scumbags.
Okay, well, I'm on my way to an ambush interview of Duck Commander Willie Robertson, and I am going to crash that party and hold his feet to the fire. And yesterday's discrete web hits were over 32,000, which means I am on pace for over 1 million views this month, and my own advertisers.
That's my girl. Not just another pretty face.
So is she like a social media influencer or something? I don't remember this movie. I mean, I've seen it, but it's been years and years. For what it's worth, my main channel is on a down round right now. I'm getting a lot fewer views than usual, but typically my main channel gets 1.5 to 2 million views a month. For context, 400,000 subbies. My Fireside Chat channel and my Unfiltered channels each usually bring in 500,000 to 800,000 views per month, and then my Reads channel brings in around 100,000 views a month. Just to kind of add context to what she's talking about. She's on track to reach 1 million views in a month. So that'd be about my size, I guess.
Miss Shelley, I've got something special for you today.
Yeah, I see somebody noted that I was fighting a shiny just now. Absolutely.
I think you're gonna like it.
Chicken. I don't know when was the last time I had chicken.
That would be yesterday. For lunch and dinner.
Oh, that's super sad. So I guess she has like dementia or something. That's hard, man. I feel for her.
Are you serious? I don't think that she should have the same thing every...
You think of anything else gonna make her that happy?
Okay, I don't see what's wrong with eating something similar to what you ate the day before.
Is it okay if I help?
Oh, all right. All right. You're new here, aren't you?
It's her daughter, isn't it? Seriously, like I said, I saw this movie, but it's been so many years, I barely remember it.
It's me, Mom. Mina.
There you go. It is her daughter.
Your daughter?
I'm sorry. I don't.
It's okay.
I know.
It's just an absolutely horrific thing to deal with. It is so hard. Now, I've never dealt with this myself, Alzheimer's or dementia or whatever, but I've been told that it's one of the roughest things that you can ever have to go through is taking care of somebody who's dealing with this, and it's just really, really sad.
I don't see a ring.
It's complicated.
Are you kidding me? Did she just grab her daughter's hand and look at it and say, "You're not married, what's wrong with you?" Why did they put this in the movie? What was the point of that? Is the point they're making that a good person would be married? What's wrong with them? They get you emotionally invested in what's happening with this woman, and then they drop that on you. Jesus, dude. I mean, am I misinterpreting this? Look, now she's disappointed in her daughter. She has dementia. This woman's mom has dementia, right? And they portray the mom as being upset with her, thinking less of her because she's not married. Why portray that? What? That was just terrible. Okay, here's where we get to meet Kevin Sorbo, I think.
I'm Professor Radisson. This is Philosophy 150, Introduction to Philosophical Thought.
There he is. He's an evil atheist.
If either of those facts is news to you, then now would be your turn to leave. I understand some of you are here to satisfy your liberal arts elective requirements. If you're looking for an easy grade without much work, well then, now would be your turn to leave. So you've now enrolled at a university. You'll be expected to produce university-level work. I'm out.
Okay, this is such an unrealistic portrayal of the whole situation. I went to college and I don't remember any of this playing out this way. This is just ridiculous, dude. At this point, you can't just walk out of a class and quit and move on to a different class. You've committed now. And your schedule is set. Good luck finding a class that's worth anything from this point forward. All the good ones are already taken.
That was one. Michel Foucault, Bertrand Russell, Ludwig Feuerbach, Bertolt Brecht, Friedrich Nietzsche, Ayn Rand, George Santayana, Democracy.
I think it's Friedrich Nietzsche, but maybe I'm the mongrel mispronouncing it. I don't know. Maybe I've been mispronouncing it my whole life.
Denis Diderot, David Hume, John Stuart Mill, Albert Camus, Richard Dawkins, Sigmund Freud, Noam Chomsky.
Richard Dawkins on the list, and Noam Chomsky. Interesting. For what it's worth, I don't know if Noam Chomsky is an atheist. Or is he listing atheists? But he's on the left at the very least, and for that reason, people to the right, Kevin Sorbo or the people on the far right, the ones that made this movie, do not like, Noam Chomsky or pretty much anybody on this list, I don't think.
And the list goes on. Philosophers, poets, scientists, authors, towering intellects, all of them. But what do they all have in common? Yes.
They're all dead.
No, that's inaccurate. They're not. They weren't at the time, and they aren't now.
Well, that would be incorrect. Mr. Dawkins and Mr. Chomsky are still very much alive. Mr.
G-Dog, Gerard Trigger.
Mr. G-Dog.
Why put this in? What's the point? What are they trying to communicate here? This is propaganda. And as such, pretty much every scene produced is there for a reason. Every picture on the wall, every movement that these people make, every last bit of this is there very intentionally. Now, what point are they trying to make by putting a black kid in class who calls himself G-Dog Gerard Trigger? What does the far right have to gain by making a joke like that? Is it just because they like being scumbags? Is that what it is? I don't know. You tell me.
Rock Trigger.
Mr. G-Dog. Anyone else? No.
They're all atheists, I assume, is what he's going to say. I don't even know if that's true, but, you know, I don't think it's true. But some of the people on the list are famous for being atheists, so.
Well, they are, or were, atheists. Based on the 16th century French atheisme, from the Greek, theos, meaning God, and from the prefix a, meaning as it always does in Greek.
Without.
Without. In short, each of the thinkers I named took the strong position that there is no God, as opposed to the weak position of agnosticism. Gnostic from the Greek gnosos, to know, and again with the prefix a, meaning to not know, or more accurately, to doubt the existence of a supreme being.
That's really interesting. He brings this up. Now, this is actually a topic of hot debate in the atheist community. The question is atheism a positive claim? Are you, as an atheist, saying there is no God and I know for a fact that there is no God? Or are you saying I simply don't accept that there is one? Like, I don't know. So the difference between not true and false. They're different. They're not the same. Guilty and not guilty and innocent are all different. If you are found not guilty in a courtroom, it doesn't mean you're innocent. It means your guilt cannot be proven. And in the same way, with atheism, if you are an atheist, in my opinion, like I said, this is hotly debated. In my opinion, if you're an atheist, it means you have not found God guilty of existing. He is not guilty of existing. I don't know. Maybe. That's possible, I suppose. Now, colloquially, the words are used the way that he's describing. Atheist generally means, you know, you actively believe that God is not real, and agnostic means you don't know. So in that sense, I guess you could call me an agnostic. But I am an atheist about a whole bunch of other gods. For example, their interpretation of Yahweh, the way that like Kevin Sorbo and evangelical extremists view him, I am an atheist about that God. The one that that wants you to believe that prosperity gospel is a thing. If you just send enough money into Kenneth Copeland, then you'll get rich too. The one that will punish you for being poor. The one that hates gay people and trans people and blah, blah, blah. You know, that God, I can say unequivocally, is not real. And the reason I'm so confident in saying that is because that's in direct contradiction to not only the Bible, but basic laws of logic. If you want to claim that, you know, Jesus walked on water, actually walked on water, I'm sorry, I can't believe that. I need to see some evidence. I'll take anything. before I believe that stuff. I reject outright, not only reject, but actively disbelieve that the evangelical God exists. So anyway, the point is, there is an argument among atheists about the meaning of it. I call myself an atheist, but actually I'm probably more agnostic.
This semester I propose that we refuse to waste our limited time together debating the existence of the big man in the sky, the myth of a benevolent, all-powerful, supernatural being.
Great. Why would anybody even bring this up? This isn't part of philosophy, is it? I don't think I've ever had a philosophy class, but I really doubt that this is what's discussed in philosophy. Is God real? Am I wrong? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on this. I feel like philosophy classes would probably have a lot of like education about logic and how logic works and stuff, you know, syllogisms, things like that. But Christians, by and large, demonize philosophy classes like mad. I don't know what their problem is with it, but Jehovah's Witnesses can't stand philosophy classes in college either. This will probably come up later. I'll play a clip of ex-governing body member Tony Morris talking about philosophy classes. But yeah, let's keep listening. Oh yeah, one more thing. I'm going to be cheating. I'm sure you probably noticed. I was cheating on the game. Just now I cheated. I'm going to cheat from beginning to end in this game because I'm here to have fun, not to have a perfect run. So, yeah. Oh, give me a second. Hang on. Okay, sorry. All right, let's keep listening here.
Hey.
How was your flight?
Wonderful.
Okay, if I remember correctly, I believe that this guy on screen is like a pastor. And he's like kind of the center of the whole story. He's famously this Christian evangelical nutter butter who is supposed to be well liked. He's like the most adored person in the whole story because he's like the hero of the story who's persecuted for his beliefs. And the other guy, the professor, you know, Kevin Sorbo, is supposed to be like the antagonist, the evil atheist that hates everybody and everything and wants to make everyone miserable, basically.
Wonderful.
So they just introduced us to the protagonist and the antagonist.
It's like a 30-hour flight.
36.
Great to see you.
Nice to see you. Ooh. Dakar to Zurich, Zurich to Frankfurt, an 8-hour layover, and direct to Qatar International.
God, that sounds miserable. I hate flying, dude. I hate it. I used to like it. It's the worst now. I feel like airlines make the seats as uncomfortable as they can possibly make them.
Oh. How does that translate as wonderful?
I'm happy, I'm safe, and I'm here because God is good.
All the time.
And all the time,
God is good.
God is dead. This is, of course, a metaphor, but an illustrative one. Meaning, not that God has somehow died, but rather that he never existed in the first place.
I'm telling you guys, I have never heard of a philosophy class that had anything like this in it, like any discussions like this. Does this happen in philosophy classes? Somebody please tell me. This sounds completely fabricated. Finally got to your commentary on this movie. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think people have been waiting for this for a while. To help her fund the purchase of this movie, you wouldn't download a car. Right, exactly. Thank you, Matthew Herring. Appreciate it. That's a deep lore, old school call out to the old anti-piracy commercials. Funny stuff. Yeah, I think it was like, I don't know, $5 or something for this. So there you go. Enzo's Library. I went to college in 2009, and even we registered for classes online. Yeah, And this is 2014. You don't register for classes in person. What? It's super weird. DD Hammer, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Indecision 6326, as a prolific junction system abuser, I agree that cheating is awesome. Disc 1 and Lionheart slaps, right? Yeah, I don't know of... Are you talking about FF8? I assume you're talking about FF8, but I'm not super sure. Yeah, I love taking advantage of the junction systems and stuff. Cheating just makes the game fun, okay? I just like cheating, is all. Sue me. Anyway, let's keep listening here.
Other than in the depths of our forebears' imaginations, he was a useful fairy tale in ages gone by, when his fiery anger was used to explain away plagues and crop failures, diseases and disasters, which we now ascribe to bacteria and viruses.
Absolutely, 100%. I think historically God has been used as a, look, just got to get this out right out of the gate. In fact, when I edit this, I'm going to put this at the front of the conversation. I have nothing against Christians, okay? Nothing. In fact, I want Christian viewers to come to my channel and watch and work with me and talk to me so that we can resolve the Christian nationalist extremist situation we find ourselves in right now. We cannot resolve this without the help of, you know, Christians who aren't out of their heads like the people in this movie. I have nothing against Christians at all. But I do have to say what he's describing here is pretty on point. Historically, God was used as a control mechanism, you know, thousands and thousands of years ago to control populations of people. Especially if you just look at, like, the example of the Old Testament, where prophets were the only ones that could communicate with God. You couldn't communicate. You had to come to this guy to hear what God wanted. It's just, like, absurd on every level, you know. It's so very obviously a control mechanism, seems to me. We discussed the existence of God in my Philosophy 101 class, more about a perfect God, though, and less about God existing. Okay, interesting. I have serious doubts it went anything like this, though, right? But okay, maybe he's discussed. But a philosophy class run by an atheist who intentionally persecutes Christians in the class? Like, come on. As a Christian, this scenario would never happen, as the professor would have been kicked. The whole scenario is just massive straw man. 100%. Honestly, if he was harassing students like this, he should be kicked. If he was being a D-bag for absolutely no reason, he shouldn't be in a position of authority over these students. If he's giving them a hard time, making their lives miserable, and persecuting them or whatever else, he shouldn't be in that position in the first place. So,
Chromosomal disorders and plate tectonics. In short, science and reason have supplanted superstition, and we are all the better for it.
I agree. I agree with that, actually.
And with your permission, I would like to bypass this senseless debate altogether and jump to the conclusion, which every sophomore is already aware of: there is no God. All that I require from each of you is that you fill in the papers I've just given you with 3 little words: God is dead, along with your signature.
Why would anybody ever require that? That's ridiculous and stupid. He's just a D-bag, this teacher is. And as aforementioned by Maggie K, he would almost... Oh, no, I'm sorry, not by Maggie K, by somebody else. Someone else mentioned it. He'd probably be kicked for this, almost certainly, right? And deservedly so. Pat in the chat, this movie left me disappointed, right? Yeah, that's a famous throwback to Kevin Sorbo's old Hercules days. He famously was just standing there and randomly yelled disappointed. It made no sense at all. Okay.
Assuming we reach a unanimous consensus, which I expect we will, I will be spared the tedious duty of slogging through dry and dusty arguments, and you will bypass the section of the course in which students have traditionally received their lowest grades of the semester.
I don't know. Look, I know professors revel in this. Oh, my students have the lowest grades. Why? Why do you do that? Why do you make it a pain in the ass to learn anything? That makes no sense at all.
And when you finish, please pass your papers to the right.
This is just a ridiculous scenario that would never happen. And if it did happen, the school would simply side with the student, and that would be the end of it. Boom, just like that. They have a persecution complex. They're obsessed with the idea that they're being mistreated at every turn when it's not even happening.
Thank you. You. Oh, a lowercase g. Maybe this one ought to get extra credit. Thank you. Excuse me, Mr.
Wheaton. Josh Wheaton.
Mr. Wheaton, is something wrong?
Yeah, I can't.
And the professor would say, okay, and then go about his day just like that. This situation is not real in any sense of the term. It's just ridiculous.
I can't do what you want. I'm a Christian.
Oh, don't worry. You can still go back to your dorm room and sink to your knees and pray at your bedside if you'd like.
Like, if this actually happened, this professor would probably be fired. Like, this is blatant persecution that's happening here, right? Look, I don't know the laws around it. Maybe he would be okay. But, yeah, this is just ridiculous. This would never happen. There isn't a single example of this ever happening anywhere.
What you do in your personal life is your business, but what you do in this class is mine.
I can't.
All right, Mr. Wheaton. Allow me to explain the alternative. If you cannot bring yourself to admit that God is dead for the purposes of this class, then you will need to defend the antithesis, that God is not dead, and you'll need to do it in front of this class from the podium.
Okay, that, you know, so it's turned into a debate class. That's perfectly fine, but the way he's framing this is ridiculous.
And if you fail, as you shall, you will fail this section and lose 30% of your final grade right off the bat. Are you ready to accept that?
This is just ridiculous, dude. Come on.
Well, who would decide whether I won or lost the argument?
Well, I would. It's not my class, my rules. Grading is my prerogative.
Yeah, no disrespect, but I'm not sure you can be objective.
What would you propose?
What about them?
Well, that's interesting, but why would I want to empower them?
Look, it shouldn't work like this. Debates are charisma contests, no more, no less. Now, if you have a debate class or a debate segment of philosophy class or something, that's fine, just to learn how it works and learn the tactics and things like that. But what they're proposing here is to have a debate that determines if God is real. Now, what's going to happen ultimately is whoever is rating who won the debate is going to be, or let me rephrase. What's going to happen is the people that are rating who won the debate are going to judge it based on what they already believed. Like I said, at best, they're charisma contests, and at worst, all people hear when they're listening to a debate is the person that holds their position that they already believe. They're not even listening to the other side. They're thinking of their own criticism for the other side. Now, debates are super interesting, and I love listening to them. But I would never take part in one, I don't think. like I said, I have nothing against debates. I just think they're a waste of time for me to do, you know. So this wouldn't accomplish anything, and any philosophy professor should know that. Learning the tactics and strategies and all that is valuable for a philosophy class. This is ridiculous.
We've already won them over. I mean, I'd have to unconvince them. Get them to admit they were wrong.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's just stupid. Although, Christianity, at least in 2014, was, well, it's still the vast majority of the U.S. right now. Like, almost every single person in the United States is a Christian, nearly. It's a heavily Christian country. So chances are he would still win the debate either way, because almost certainly everybody in this class already agrees with him.
All right. Mr. Wheaton, you'll get 3 sessions, the last 20 minutes of each of the next 3 classes to make your case. I promise to keep my interruptions to a minimum. You may take whatever questions you'd like from the class, but it will not increase your allotted time. Of course, you'll be responsible for all the other class assignments. But, you could change your mind and bring in your signed statement at our next class, and we'll go forward as though none of this ever happened. The rest of us, having dispensed with primitive superstition, will turn our focus to the issue of being in reality for our next class. Please have read David Hume's The Problems of Induction, René Descartes' Discourse on Method.
Dude, is he asking them to read an entire 2 different books in like a week's time? That's a little tough. I don't know. I can't imagine that he would have them read 2 full books in a week, right? Maybe.
To which you may add Bertrand Russell's Why I Am Not a Christian in preparation for Mr. Wheaton's lecture. And in thanks for his failure to help us reach a unanimous consensus.
You know what? This should be any Christian's dream, right? An opportunity to explain to a captive audience why they believe what they believe. Isn't this exactly what Jesus commanded or whatever? He ordered people to go out to all the nations and preach and all that other good junk. This is like a perfect setup for a Christian. They should be super happy about this. Again, this situation would never happen. And if it did, this professor would be fired rightfully. So. You know what really disgusts me about this situation? Look at the kid's face. The look on his face right now. These people, I'm talking people to the right, the far right. I mean, evangelicals, the people who produced and acted in this movie, and the millions and millions of Trumpist nutter butters out there. They believe they're persecuted, genuinely, to the bottom of their hearts. They really think they're persecuted from day to day, when in reality, they don't know the meaning of the word. You know, you don't really have an opportunity in everyday life to be persecuted for just about anybody. It's not common to be persecuted for most people, but when you're in some minority group, you know what it feels like, and it's not fun. I didn't know what persecution, like real persecution, felt like until I left Jehovah's Witnesses. I was persecuted by Jehovah's Witnesses for leaving the religion. They hate me. They won't even look at me. They won't give me the time of day. They won't talk to me. They won't nothing. And it's really painfully sad to experience real, actual persecution. You know, persecution against the gay community, the LGBT community in general, persecution against the black community. I mean, it's all picking up right now heavily, thanks to our politicians and the culture that was formed out by the people that made this movie. So there are a lot of people out there that now know what persecution really feels like who shouldn't. thanks to them. And the fact that they're portraying their side as being persecuted this way is just truly disgusting. They have no idea the pain that surfaces when you are genuinely persecuted for some intrinsic attribute about you.
You don't want to deny your faith. I get it. So the answer's simple. Drop the class.
Okay, it's his girlfriend. No, he shouldn't. I mean, if this situation was real, he shouldn't drop the class. He should get the professor fired. Simple as that. And the school would definitely fire the professor for persecuting people. But this situation just doesn't happen this way. This is just fabricated nonsense.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I can do that. I feel like God wants someone to defend him.
Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah, don't be ridiculous. Are you kidding me? God doesn't need your ass to defend him, okay? He's busy right now feeding African children and curing people of cancer. He doesn't care if you defend him or not. Trust me.
I don't know. I just keep thinking of that C.S. Lewis line. Only a real risk tests the reality of belief.
Oh my God. C.S. Lewis, if you're unfamiliar, wrote the book The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I read that when I was younger. Turns out C.S. Lewis is like a giga-Christian nutter butter from like the 1930s or 40s, I think. And he wrote a whole bunch of ultra-religious books, and they worship him practically like one of their leaders. It's nuts.
So you're going to risk our future over your yearbook quote? Josh, why am I here? Hello? Earth to Josh. Why am I salutatorian of our graduating class here at my third choice school? I'm sorry for having the next 50 years of our life planned out, but that's just who I am.
I don't know, Kara. It's just...
Josh, I love you.
Oh, God, I thought her name was Karen at first. I guess it's Kara, K-A-R-A. Okay? She loves him.
Years of our life planned out, but that's just who I am.
I don't know, Kara. It's just...
Josh, I love you, but I absolutely forbid you to go up against this professor in his own classroom. We have too much at stake.
Oh, give me a break. Really? They're making such a big deal out of absolutely nothing. About something that isn't even real. That would have never happened in the first place. And now they're trying to portray him being persecuted by even his own girlfriend. How terrible, huh? So mistreated, this guy.
The whole thing's rigged to make you look like an idiot. And if you want to get into law school, you can't afford to flunk this class. Even a C could be disastrous.
That's not true. I don't, well, you know what? That may be true. I get my wife is in law school right now, and I think they really look at LSAT scores. At the time, they looked at LSAT scores heavily. So it's this test you have to take before you get into law school. It's the law SAT, basically, is what it stands for. And I think most law schools base your, like, which schools you get into off of that. Now, I think they're moving away from that now, but at the time, it wasn't really grades-based. Yeah, maybe GPA-based, and a single C won't drag it down that much. Come on. Oh, this is the atheist girl, right? The atheist, humanist, vegan, evolution lover, I think.
I don't know why you wear those heels.
What's wrong with them?
You're too tall. You're taller than me.
You're big enough to handle it.
Just saying, I don't want to be the short guy at the prom.
Okay, so worship center. I guess they're walking into a church. And I think that they're trying to portray these people as dressing trashy. Is that the point they're getting at? Again, this is propaganda, and as such, every frame in this movie is here for a very specific reason. Everything is portrayed for a reason.
Mr. Robertson. Hi, or should I call you Willie?
You can call me Willie.
Amy Ryan. I vlog The New Left. Can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, sure. Fire away. This is my wife, Corey.
Hi. I know. I'm actually surprised to see you here. I thought you'd be home, barefoot and pregnant.
I don't understand.
I've been barefoot and pregnant in a really long time. I do kind of miss those days, huh?
Yeah. You want to start again? We can try.
No.
You've made a fortune selling.
Okay, this is weird. I don't understand the context, but again, it's here for a reason. I just haven't figured it out yet.
Devices that are designed to lure waterfowl to their deaths.
I guess when you say you, you're referring to the whole group of my family, which would be y'all. You can just change it to
Oh, this is the Duck Dynasty guy, isn't it? Oh, these people are unhinged from reality, dude. Oh, I totally forgot about this. Duck Dynasty, yeah. Okay, listen again.
Lure waterfowl to their deaths.
You invented a device to lure waterfowl to their deaths. They just invented a new kind of duck whistle, I think, is all. Just absurd, dude. Oh, my God. And, of course, she's being portrayed as like a scumbag, evil, atheist, vegan, humanist that is twisting the truth around to just hurt these innocent people.
I guess when you say you, you're referring to the whole group of my family, which would be y'all. You can just change it to y'all. That'd be an easier expression. That way it'll get everybody in there.
So
that's fascinating. And here they're doing a subtle call out to who they believe to be the voter base of the Republican Party. Traditional people that, that adhere to like traditional values. God, I don't even know how to phrase it. People, rednecks, basically. They're rednecks. I don't know how else to say it. I can't say it in a nicer way. They know that their voter base is a bunch of uneducated rednecks, and that they're calling out to them intentionally here.
y'all have made a fortune, isn't that right?
We're doing all right. We can certainly buy bigger tires on our trucks and four-wheelers to get out in the mud with, so...
Dude, this is just painful, really. This is what I'm talking about. Every frame of this is propaganda and intended to give you a specific impression walking away from it. The impression they're giving you here is that these people are an everyman type of people. They're just like normal people, just like you.
Life is good.
What makes you think you have the moral right to go around maiming and killing innocent animals?
Hey, look, let's just get one thing straight. I ain't maiming nothing. Whatever I see and I aim at, I shoot. When I shoot it, I kill it, and then I eat it.
So you do kill those ducks?
Of course I do. What we're gonna do, cook them while they're still moving around? That would be cruel.
That'd be bad.
So this isn't an act. You're actually proud of what you do.
Of course I am. Why would I do it if I'm not proud of it?
And you go...
Like, here's another aspect to this. They're portraying positions that the vast majority of America doesn't care about or isn't invested in or think are ridiculous in an effort to draw in moderates. They know that the majority of the time, people on the left, people on the right, they're going to vote or they're not going to vote. Moderates are going to swing it around heavily when voting comes up. Moderates are going to come in and vote one way or another. That's one aspect of it. And the other aspect is if you can scare people enough on the left, scare them about what the right is doing, you can get them out to vote where otherwise they may not have been willing to.
Proud of what you do.
Of course I am. Why would I do it if I'm not proud of it?
So they're trying to make her look completely unhinged and ridiculous and make him look normal, basically, just like you.
And you go along with everything he says?
We've been married for 20 years. I don't go along with everything he says, but on the things that matter, yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
So what do you say to people who are offended by your show, not just because of the hunting, but because you openly pray to Jesus in every episode?
Nobody is offended by that. Nobody cares, okay? I am an atheist. It doesn't get more, like, atheist than me, really. And I couldn't possibly care less about what they do on their show. It affects me. It affects my life in no way. I can't think of a single way in which this affects my life. Go nuts. Pray to your heart's content on your TV show or whatever. They must be persecuted all the time. It's ridiculous and embarrassing. Oh, and again, like, no one is offended at anything. Okay? The left doesn't care what you do with your time or your money or whatever. Go nuts.
Hey, we're not trying to offend anybody, all right? If they don't want to watch the show, they can turn the channel. As far as my praying to Jesus, my life and my whole eternity belongs to God. All this stuff is temporary. The money, fame, success, temporary. Even life is temporary. Jesus, that's eternal. Jesus said this, whoever acknowledges me before men, he will acknowledge before the Father in heaven. Whoever disowns me, I'll disown him to the Father. Now those words are written in red, so they're important.
Okay, if they're written in red, it means that Jesus said it, not that they're important, but... Okay, and let me guess, is this going to turn her to a Christian, just hearing those words? Is that right?
That's it.
That's it. That's what we're going with. Pretty simple, isn't it?
Thanks for your time.
Come on, let's go do some acknowledging.
All right.
You're welcome to join us.
No, thanks. I'm good.
You good?
Thank you.
All right. Who was that lady?
Okay, that was cringy and terrible. By the way, the Duck Dynasty guys, like I said, they invented some duck whistle that's like really useful and made them a ton of money. I don't know if you guys knew this, but they're just faking all of that Hicks stuff. That's not real. None of it is. Hang on, let me find a picture of them. Here you go. This is a picture of the Duck Dynasty guys, I believe. This is them. Hang on. This is the Duck Dynasty guys now, as they are portrayed on the show. Phil Robertson on the left here is a total nutter butter. And then, let me find it. Hold on. Where is it? There's a specific picture of them in, like, polo shirts and stuff I was looking for. You know, I can't find the picture of them in their polo shirts. Let me see. Polo shirts. Oh my God, no, I didn't want to see this. Oh my God, I shouldn't have typed this. Oh my God, dude. Oh, that's bad. It's a polo shirt made to look like you're not wearing a shirt at all. That's bad. Oh my God. Okay, I regret I regret everything. This is terrible. Okay, I'm sorry guys. I apologize for doing that to you. I shouldn't have even searched. It's fake is the point. They're not, you know, these rednecks the way they want to be portrayed. They're rich frat boys. Always were. And the rednecks with long beards is just a bit that they do. Not real. Okay, so here's the Muslim woman who was riding with her husband and very clearly didn't want to wear a hijab. So she puts the hijab on when he comes and picks her up. I see. Fair enough. That's fair. But isn't it fascinating here how they're portraying the Christians as like, you know, being more devout is a good thing. And as Muslims, being less devout is a good thing. See how they're kind of building this up? That's part of the propaganda. For what it's worth, I agree. Being less devout as a Muslim is good. You shouldn't be wearing hijabs and stuff, in my opinion, but okay.
You're beautiful. I wish you not to do that.
Somebody got to write a fan fiction about these two people getting together and getting married as a gay couple. I would read that fan fiction.
It's for my father. He's very traditional.
Oh, father, not husband. Okay. Wow, cutting it a little close. Dude was rolling up while she's putting that bad boy on, huh? So somebody mentioned Jigglypuff has an item. Let's just check what it is. Oron berry. I don't know what that is, but it's not really useful.
Salam, Doktora. Who were you talking to?
No one.
Aisha, I know it's hard, living in their world and being apart from it. A world you can see, but can't touch.
You know what's fascinating? That exact line right there is in the Bible. And these people that produced this film, Kevin Sorbo and others, believe it. They believe that they should live in the world but not be a part of it, exactly the same way this Muslim does. But again, being more Christian, more devout is good in their mind, and being less Muslim is good in their mind.
I know they seem happy, but know that when you look around at all those people, there is no one who worships God.
That's absolutely absurd. Like 80% of the U.S. is Christian or something like that. And even the ones that don't, I'm pretty heckin' happy. I'm totally fine with not, believing in their weird, perverse little interpretation of who God is. I'm totally good. I don't need to.
Not the way he deserves and demands to be worshipped. We must never forget who and what we are. That is the most important thing.
Yes, Baba.
I only insist on this because I love you. You know that, don't you? That I love you.
Like, it's really hard to break through old cultural traditions like this. It may not even be religious in most cases, people wearing hijabs and stuff. But it is so important to break out of that mindset, Religion in general, not just Islam, not just Christianity, but there are all kinds of religions out there that are deeply oppressive, that make people's lives absolutely miserable for no reason whatsoever. You only live once, YOLO. Enjoy it while you're here,
Of course, Baba.
Like, do you really want to live your entire life in a hijab, never letting your face, feel the sunlight on it or whatever, never walking around and just being normal? It's just really sad, man. And Muslims are not the only one that suffer from this stuff. Christians have limitations, heavy ones, on the things that they're allowed to say, do, and think, too. So he's sitting in a church and just kind of praying there, I guess, okay? Looks like a Catholic church. Absolutely beautiful. Very ornate. Dude, if you can't say anything else about Catholics, at the very least you can say they know how to make an absolutely beautiful building, right? I doubt that's Catholic, actually. Evangelicals and Catholics traditionally have a war between them. It's probably some very specific denomination of Protestantism, and honestly, probably a form of Pentecostalism. Here's our protagonist.
Can I help you? You waiting for someone?
Yeah, you could say that. It looks like he's out at the moment.
Well, maybe that's why he sent me.
God, these platitudes and cliches are just painful. Yo, here's our evil atheist, vegan, humanist, evolutionist. All right, well, I'll tell you what. This is about where I'm going to have to bring it to an end, although I'm super into this right now. But, yeah, it's getting a little bit late. If you want to see more of this, follow me over to part 2, because this is so fascinating, dude. Matter of fact, I should seriously watch God's Not Dead 2 and 3 on stream also. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Also, if you want to see part 2, this is for the live stream. Follow me over to Telltale Unfiltered tomorrow morning. Wednesday mornings, 10:30 a.m. I sit here and I do this exact thing. Play a game, watch this hilarious garbage. So, yeah, follow me over. It'll be super interesting. And, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to mention. Professor Hercules is begging to be fired all through this movie. An ethics board would be all over him. Oh, 100%. Completely fabricated. I remember watching God's Not Dead 2 recently, actually. And that one was something else, dude. We got to watch that one. There are 4? Oh, I didn't realize that. I know that there's a Left Behind movie also with Kevin Sorbo. We have to watch this stuff. It's so interesting. Anyway, yeah, let me know what you think about it in the comments. This is hilarious to me, honestly. And I hope to see you guys over on Unfiltered in the morning, okay? All right, thank you guys for coming, and I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow morning. All right, have a good one, everybody. That's all I've got for you. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, don't forget to check me out on Patreon. And take a look at my YouTube channels. Owen Morgan, where I talk about religious issues. Telltale Fireside Chat, where I talk about politics. Telltale Unfiltered, where I do long-form breakdowns of stuff like this, and Telltale Reads, where I read books by televangelists and others. I release everything in parts, but every part stands independently of the last, so you can jump in anywhere and I'll make sure it makes sense. You can find some ad-free, uncensored, complete versions of all my videos on my website, owenmorgan.com. And while you're there, don't forget to sign up for my email list to get early access to everything. All links are in the description. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.